The Ultimate Universe is back. Or is it? The original Ultimate Universe was intended to be a fresh jumping-on point for fans of Marvel Comics. A new universe, free of years of history. But eventually it also became convoluted and turned into its own disaster until it was shut down. But now one of the sole survivors of that universe, the evil Reed Richards, who goes by the name The Maker, has found a way to bring it back. And he's making it in his own image. This is Comicstorian. I make audio dramas of your favorite comic books. This allows you to know what is going on in the world of comics and where to go and buy them at your local comic book store. This is Ultimate Invasion number 2. The Maker walks into his massive chamber and he sits in his chair, prepared. Prepared to journey to another world, to remake it in his image. He knows everything about his enemies, everything about their history. He knows that there will be differences, but there will always be some constants. There will always be a god of thunder to deal with and a king of lies to put on the throne. There will be a rocket launch to delay, and so that a group will become less fantastic. Some things can't be changed. There will be a brilliant scientist, and mankind will build bombs that will explode. There will be a Hulk. Strangely, there won't be a soldier in the ice. So the mankind in this world won't have the beacon of hope, Captain America. And after the Maker has remade this world, he closes himself off in Latveria. In the city of his creation, he lives 1,000 years. Earth 6160. Now. Howard Stark flies his new armor through the city, waving at the onlookers from the office buildings, while Obadiah Stane and his son Tony watch from the Stark Stan Industries. When he lands, the suit opens to reveal the smiling billionaire, who asks Jarvis, his female butler, for a vodka and oranges. "It's 10 a.m., Howard," Obadiah says with a shake of his head. But Howard smiles as he lifts the drink in a toast. "Not in Latveria, old boy. Cheers, by the way." The two men walk through the factory while Obadiah reminds Howard that he promised to go to the meeting with him. Howard isn't very happy about that, wishing that he could stay out of the public eye while creating the world-altering technology that he is known for. But finally, with a heavy sigh, Howard agrees to go to Latveria. He quickly dresses and heads down to the Stark Quinjet that is waiting for them. "It's time to go meet your Maker," Obadiah says with a smile as they both board the jet. Later in Latveria, the world watches as the large spherical city created by the man known as the Maker waits to open. It's a gala event, with only the most powerful and important figures invited to attend. Cameras film and people watch as the likes of Howard and Obadiah arrive. The enlightened leader, known as the Hulk, and his followers arrive. Harada Yoshida and his alliance of Pacific clans and the Rasputin family. Finally, the doors of the great city open up wide and the Maker steps out, flanked by 2 security droids. People wave and they cheer, and the Maker merely pauses, looking up. "Well, I'm waiting." At that moment, a rift opens in the sky and a swarm of heroes emerge. An army made up of Thors, Visions, Wasps, Giant Men, and Captain Americas. "Just the Maker and the other acceptable targets, no one else," one of the Thors shouts out. Lightning strikes the crowd as everyone runs for cover, with the mutants and Hulk leaping into battle with the invading army. "Obadiah, what the hell?" Howard shouts as they take cover. "No idea. You don't happen to be wearing your portable suit, do you?" Obadiah asks, but Howard shakes his head, reminding Stan that he asked Howard to come unarmed. "As a general rule, never listen to someone who doesn't follow their own advice," Obadiah says as he activates his armor on the Quinjet, which flies to him, quickly wrapping around his body. "Get clear, I'll handle this," Obadiah shouts as he leaps into battle. But as the fight continues to rage, one of the Visions launches forward, putting an arm through Obadiah's chest, causing his armor to explode. Howard tries to rush to his friend's aid, but the armor does successfully explode, throwing Howard away. He tries to stand, watching the fight continue, but he falls and blacks out. Eventually, a voice speaks to him. "Howard, you can wake up now," the Maker says, and Howard opens his eyes to the Maker standing over him, explaining that the battle ended, but Obadiah was killed. "I saw it happen," Howard says softly. "I wish there was time to grieve, but time is something we have very little of at this moment," the Maker says as he turns, motioning to the other side of the room where the invading army has been imprisoned. "Who are they?" Howard asks, and the Maker explains that they are the warriors from the future sent here to erase both of them from history. Why? Howard questions, and the Maker sighs. That's a question, isn't it? Doesn't it make you fear what terrible things you're going to do in your future? Or does it anger you that they tried to rob you of the chance to have one? The Maker asks, and Howard shakes his head, not sure that he believes in the idea of static temporal states. Let's find out, the Maker suggests. His soldiers bring in a group of people into the room, and the Maker explains that he traced the future army's genetic makeup to the people standing in the room. With a wave of his hand, the soldiers open fire, and they mass murder everyone. Howard is shocked, but is more shocked as the future warriors suddenly begin to scream in pain as they are literally being unmade. He stares at the fleshy spots where they used to be. You idiot! You know they're going to do the same thing to you, right? Howard asks, but the Maker shakes his head, explaining, No, I was never born in your world. I came here at the height of my powers. He leads Howard into another room where the genius is shocked to find a massive machine. You made a time machine. The Maker nods, explaining that he has used it to go back and forth through time to remake the world as it currently is. Do you think that this is how things were supposed to be? It wasn't, I promise you. The Maker states, and Howard's mind is reeling as he tries to imagine what the Maker is telling him. You have to understand the full scope of what you've done, right? You annihilated the future, you destroyed their past. This won't be the end of it. This is just your first encounter, Howard says, and the Maker shakes his head, removing his helmet, revealing the horrible wound that has taken half of his head. No, it was the second. Howard doesn't understand how the Maker is still alive. For self-preservation's sake, I chose to separate and redistribute my brain and vital organs long ago. He puts back on his helmet, telling Howard, I need you, more than anyone else in the world, and maybe others. Howard looks at him and asks why. Because with missing half of my head, I don't have some of my memories, and I believe that you are the one that built this time machine. And that concludes issue 2 of the Ultimate Invasion. Now, at the end of this, we are going to get the brand new Ultimate Universe, but this is where it's at right now, and I find that really interesting. That the Maker has basically gone through and stopped every possible superhero from ever being made. So who is actually going to stop him? There's no Spider-Man, there's no Captain America, and there is no Hulk as we know them. So what's going on? What do you guys think is going to happen with the Ultimate Universe? Let me know in the comments down below, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell to hear when Ultimate Invasion 3 comes out. Also, if you want to get early access to our videos, make sure you sign up for YouTube memberships, and you go over to our Patreon. Thank you for your time, and I'll see you right here.